absolutely demolished 2 full plates of food because when I make my chicken wraps, and as well I've been preferring like my fajitas, I absolutely overload them, so they don't even close. And it's basically like you have to just pick it up with 2 hands and eat it like that. Because you need to add that fiber in there. You need to have big voluminous food as well. Like, you can have a banana. Bananas, generally speaking, like this banana here is bigger than my face, or almost as big as my face. So I mean, I'm gonna hazard a guess that that's 120, 150 calories, something around that ballpark. And it's quite small, even though it's fantastic with fiber. It's really good with nutrients. It's just not quite as voluminous as if I had 3 or 4 of these, which would probably be around the same calories, because of how small these are. So yeah, but that's what we're going for, volume. You need to have as much volume as possible, and this is why salads, bags of salad like this. I've basically been using a bag of this per salad almost. Baby spinach and rocket. I've had other ones as well. Just general mixed leaf salad and different bits and bobs. Not necessarily the cheapest way of buying things, because you can buy like iceberg lettuce and tomatoes and different things, and you can make enormous great big salads. But primarily for taste and different things, I find they're the best because they are fresh. I know that they're rammed full of chemicals because it's not organic and different things, but they do last longer as well. And we can only be so healthy at the end of the day. I mean, if you want to go and eat everything organic, awesome. It is a lot more expensive, which is the reason I don't do it. And that is the only reason I don't do it, is because of the price mark. Most organic things are double the price of normal things because of the lack of chemicals going into it and the amount more time it takes to prepare those specific foods. So yeah, generally speaking, that's nutrition done and done. I mean, it is super simple. Just fruit, vegetables, and lean meats. Stay away from chicken thighs. It's just saturated fat. You don't necessarily need it. Like steaks are quite good. I do like a good steak. Again, get quite a not a fatty steak. Medallions are really good. The bacon I've got is shortcut bacon, and so I've been literally been cutting the fat off of the bacon, just to save calories here and there, wherever you can. I know we're talking negligible calories, but so for example, breakfast, eggs and bacon, lunch, steak, and then chicken. If you were to have the fat off of the bacon, chicken thighs, and quite a fatty cut of meat, then your calories are going to be way higher than if you cut all the fat out of those meals. You had chicken breast, cut the fat off the bacon, and you had a leaner cut of meat. It's going to be a lot less calories, because I know it's almost negligible calories per meal, but added up over 4, 5, 6 meals, it's going to be a few hundred calories, and it will surprise you, especially if you track your food. It will surprise you how quickly the calories jump through the roof and you're way over your calorie limit. Okay, so I'd rather cut out all of the different fats and stuff and have something like this. Save 200 calories through the day so I can have something like this. That's my personal preference. Not everybody does the same as well. When I was at home, if I wanted a great big bowl of cereal, I'd have to track that, because sometimes what I used to like doing is coming home and have a massive bowl of Cocoa Pops when I got home, protein powder Cocoa Pops, and sometimes it can be 4, 5, 6,000 calories depending on what you put in it. So you need to be quite careful when it comes to high calorie foods like that. And this is why I say just stick to leafy greens, stick to vegetables and fruits, and it will be a lot easier for you to.
It would help if we could decide here and now.
It'll be a lot easier for you to lose the weight and build the required muscle. But at the end of the day, primarily what we're going for, you need to eat as little food as possible while keeping your energy levels up. Okay? Because like I said, if your energy levels are up, then you're able to burn more calories because you have the energy to do so. If you keep your food stupidly low and you don't have the energy, then you're going to be doing what I'm doing today, and you're going to be doing absolutely nothing and burning no calories. Even though you're eating no food, you're burning no calories. So it's better to eat the food and burn the calories than it is starve yourself. Like, believe me, I've learned that the hard way. I did that when in my first year of training. Like I said, I watched competition bodybuilders and stuff like that, and they were all on like 1,000 calories, 1,500 calories, because they are dieting down for a show. They're stupidly lean, competition level athletes. And I thought, right, if I want to be like that, I'm going to have to do that. And I starved myself. And then I had no energy, and I fainted at work a couple of times because I just had no energy to do anything. So don't do that. Eat the food, burn the calories. You'll be amazed at how much food you can eat and still be in a calorie deficit if you eat the right foods. Okay? Yeah, simple as that. Really, honestly, really is simple as that. So obviously, if you want any personalized coaching plans, and if you want me to do it all for you, I'm more than happy to do that. It is, save your brain in thinking about any of this stuff, because sometimes it can get really complicated, especially when you go country to country to country. Everywhere has different things. The main thing I've noticed over here is how expensive unhealthy food is and how cheap healthy food is. So the mushrooms that I've been buying over here have been like a couple of pound. These as well, they're like a couple of pound, whereas the energy drinks I've bought have been... So I bought a 4-pack of these. Again, I don't necessarily recommend, but they are really good with energy because they're just through the roof with caffeine, and they can act as an appetite suppressor as well. You see, sugar-free as well, because otherwise these cans can be sometimes 200 or 300 calories, and that's not something you want just rammed full of sugar. And these, I bought a 4-pack of these for $15, which is around, my maths is, awful. It's like, you're talking at least £7 or £8, possibly more. Okay, and back home, 50p a pound. It's weird how I've noticed everything healthy over here is a lot cheaper than I thought it'd be. I just assumed it would be like home. But no, I mean, that's each country. They don't want you to be unhealthy. I've not seen one obese person since I've been here. Not one. It's amazing. You walk around England and it's just everybody is pretty much a lot of people. You walk around England and a lot of people are fat and obese, and people do not like hearing that. And you'll be very surprised what obese looks like clinically. Okay, I can't remember who said it, but if you can't see your abs, it can be classed as fat. Now, you talk about BMI and you take actual readings, skin caliper readings and weight, body measurements, you would be really surprised at your clinical definition of your weight. Both my parents back home are normal people. They are normal size. My dad is a carpenter and has been a firefighter all of his life. So he's always been an extremely active man. Nobody's ever classed him as fat. Like my entire family, no one's ever classed him as fat. Except when I became a personal trainer and I needed a guinea pig in order to do my calculations on, he is clinically obese. Unfortunately, him and my mother are clinically obese. Now, they don't look particularly fat. If you were to look at them, normal people, and that's what we've come to realize as a society, is because of how big we are, generally speaking, people look at you and think, no, you're not fat. But then if you do the readings, it's like, bloody hell, I'm clinically obese. And then you look at some people and you're, oh my God, I'm in danger of dying because I'm so big. I'm in danger of being hospitalized because I'm so big. But they feel fine. They're walking around normally. They don't think anything of it until a professional of any description comes and looks at them and tells them things like that. They absolutely hate it. When I did these calculations on my mum and she found out her clinical definition, she just turned to me. She goes, "That's horrific." I said, I know, and you aren't particularly. I wouldn't have classed you as, I would definitely not have put you in the category of obese. I wouldn't have even called you fat personally, but that's because of the way society has gone and how used to we are seeing overly large people. You know, until you see somebody who is quite literally can't get out of bed and you think, oh my God, where has their life gone? But it doesn't take long to get there. You'd be very, very surprised at how quickly people go from perfectly healthy to clinically obese. I'm talking very clinically. I'm going off NHS guidelines. I'm not trying to offend or hurt anybody, but go on the NHS website. If you're from England, go on the NHS website, have a look at BMI classifications and weight classifications and body measurement classifications. Find out for yourself, are you fat? Are you obese? Are you in danger of hurting yourself? Because that might just be the kick up the arse you need to start doing something about it. You know, if you turn to your family and friends and you say, am I fat? They're obviously going to turn around and say no. Unless you have a family member like me. I am brutally honest with my family, you know. Like I said, you know, I've sat here and called my parents obese. You know, I love them dearly, but unfortunately that is their medical definition. At the end of the day, it is what it is. At the end of the day, you know, there's nothing, just because you don't want to be fat doesn't mean that you aren't fat, unfortunately. Like I said, I know I've said this before, I'm not here to accommodate anybody's feelings. I'm here to be brutally honest to you. And if you're fat, you're fat. You know, and if you're obese, you're obese, unfortunately. And this is what I'm trying to change. We need to change this in our society. There's no reason to endanger ourselves such as this. And so another reason I talk about nutrition as being such an important side of things is because you can go through your entire life eating McDonald's and curries and, you know, things like that, you know, things, okay, again, using my dad as a prime example, that's all he's done all of his life. He hates greens. If I put this on his plate, he would physically pick it off. Yeah, I remember when I made him food and I accidentally put peas, just normal garden peas, in with everything, and he picked them out. He actually picked them out because he would, you know, even though he wouldn't taste them, he actually picked them out because he didn't want to eat them because he doesn't like greens. And so, and my concern for him at a later age, he is 55, you know, and I'm worried when he gets to 70, he's going to have coronary heart problems, and he's going to have artery problems, and he's going to have blockages because of the amount of saturated fat he has had over such a prolonged period of time. You know, my pops, my dad's dad, for a prime example of that, has had stints and he's had different heart problems, and that's because all of his life he's eaten red meat, he's eaten fatty foods. Now he was born he was a wartime baby back in World War II, so I understand times were a lot harder back then, and he has grown up around eating what he has been able to do. But now we have choice. You know, you should eat healthier. Like his wife, my grandma, is one of the healthiest people I know. You should see her plates of food, and they will literally eat different meals because she won't eat what he eats. He'll have well, I remember one time I was around there training, and she cooked him deep fried chips, eggs, and ham, egg and chips. Yeah, most people think nothing wrong with that. Obviously, you've got all the saturated fat from the olive oil. Yes, you're having potatoes, but they're sort of been absolutely ruined with the amount of fat you're putting in them. Eggs as well, fried eggs, and then ham. Not a green thing in sight. And then she would have a vegetable risotto. You know, and amazingly healthy, or ratatouille, or I know it's weird how different people can be. But again, my grandma grew up, they are identically aged. I think he's 72 and she's 71, I believe. And she's been able to make that transition into eating healthier food, and you know, and so this is something I really, really want you guys to realize, is that you will not have problems at a young age, but I promise you, when you get older, if you've eaten nothing but unhealthy food, you will have problems. And why do you want to quite literally shorten your life just to eat nice food? Because this is nice food. If you cook it right and you make it right, it is lovely. You know, I was able to convince my dad to eat vegan food. Now, I didn't tell him it was vegan food. I just put every vegetable he likes in a pan, vegan sausages, and so he likes onions, peppers. I think that's it. Or lettuce. He doesn't like tomato. He'll eat a bit of lettuce. And so, you know, I just tried to make it as healthy as possible for him. And, you know, he finished it and he was like, that's amazing. I was like, completely vegan. And he was like, no. I was like, yeah, no, I absolutely promise. I showed him the packaging and I was like, eating vegan sausages is better for you than eating pork sausages. Because they have lots of nutrients in them. You know, they're made from plants, so they're going to be a lot more nutritious and a lot more beneficial to your body than a pork sausage. Especially if you don't train. If you don't train in the gym and you're not trying to build muscle, you do not need a massively high protein diet. So eat the low calorie, more beneficial foods like that. Some of the vegan food now you can get now is amazing. Some of it tastes amazing. Some of it tastes crap, I'll be honest, because believe me, I've ventured hard into the veganism. And some of it tastes amazing. And if you don't tell people, especially if you're like me and you do some cooking for your parents, just don't tell them. Just let them eat it and afterwards be like, yeah, that was vegan, by the way. You know, and they'll be like, no, because most people don't even realize. Super simple, guys. Super simple. Just got to use your noggin and really think about it. I mean, I don't see the point in, personally, I don't see the point in shortening anybody's life just because they want to eat really unhealthy food all the time. And I'm speaking about all the time specifically. I'm not saying once a week go and have McDonald's. That's not going to kill you, okay? But if you have a McDonald's every single day, that is not good for you. That's not good for you. If there was a documentary I watched, again on YouTube, I will try and find it and link it in the description. I'm sorry if I can't. And it was about a man who ate McDonald's. He did it for a clinical study. He was extremely healthy, go to the gym, running and a runner, and he didn't stop training. He just started eating McDonald's 3 meals a day, just to see what would happen to his body. Now, now this is obviously done for a study. This was done under clinical conditions, and I know that pretty much everybody in the world doesn't eat McDonald's 3 times a day. Even if you eat McDonald's once a day, it's still not as bad as 3 times a day. What he noticed was, no matter how much exercise he did, he'd still gain weight because the high calorie food, and he was hungry. He was more hungry because it's not filling. It's not full of fiber. It's not nutritionally packed. You're not giving your body anything he needs. You know, after 3 weeks of doing it, he got horrifically spotty. He was drained all the time. Emotionally, he wasn't very happy, because his brain is not being fed with what it needs. You know, we as a society have made all these lovely tasting foods, but we've taken away from the fact of, you know, being nutritious and actually giving the body what we need. You know, we're becoming addicted to these highly saturated fats and different things. Like, I mean, if you ever watched any kind of documentary or program on telly about people who are quite large, and they go to the doctor and then they are on a cup of food a day, do you really want to get to that point? Or on top of that, they're forced to eat things that they don't want to eat because their body needs it. It so desperately needs it. So don't let yourself get to that stage. You know, make the change now. And you will reap the rewards later in life. You will, I promise you. You know, like my mum is stupidly healthy. I mean, she just doesn't move quite enough, and she drinks wine. They're the top 2 things for my mum. That's the only reason she's not stick thin, is because she drinks wine a few times a week, and she doesn't move quite as much as she used to. Mainly because of her, you know, mental state at the moment, exactly the same as mine was. You know, if you aren't mentally prepared enough, then you do really struggle to get out. I mean, every time me and her went out, she'd come back and she'd go, oh, I feel amazing. And I'm like, there you go. You know, just get out and do something. And that was just going for a walk for an hour with Charlie the dog. You know, obviously my dad is extremely different. He goes out, you know, my mum is, at the moment is taking time off of work, and you know, she's choosing different jobs, and she's got a lot going on mentally. So I understand, until she sorts her mental state out, she won't be able to sort her physical state out. Believe me, I understand that. My dad, on the flip side, goes to work 9 till 5. So, you know, he's working all day, 5 days a week. He's absolutely knackered when he gets home. Last thing he wants to do is go for a run or do exercise or go to the gym. Especially at 55, you know, I completely understand that you don't want to do things like that if you're still working. But things I've said to him, I was like, if you want to lose a little bit of weight, you don't have to do much. You really, really do not have to do much. You just have to tweak your calories and your nutrition just a little bit. You know, rather than having cheese sandwiches for work, you know, have ham sandwiches, or not even that, buy low calorie cheese. He just buys normal fat cheese, he lathers butter in there, and I'm like, you know, you could do so much to bring your calories down, and you know, you'd lose weight so quickly because of how hard he works. He's a very, very hard worker. You know, on top of working, he walks the dog, or you know, he shares walking the dog with my mum. At weekends they go out and walk the dog. So I mean, you know, and every weekend they go out for food and drinks, and I'm like, you can still go out for food and drink every weekend. I'm not saying don't enjoy your life. I'm just saying make smarter decisions on your day-to-day basis. That's the primary message. You know, don't not enjoy your life. We are not here for long. We have to enjoy every moment of our lives, but make smart decisions in your life. You know, especially if you want to lose weight and you want to build muscle and you want to have the physique that you've always dreamed of, then you need to make these smart decisions day in, day out. You know, so that's something I've said stupidly easy for him. You know, don't have chocolate and sweets in the house, because he will quite happily sit there and eat 5 donuts and a chocolate bar without thinking about it. You know, and I'm like, that's where your calorie. No, he doesn't eat much through the day. He'll have 1 bagel with a little bit of butter on in the morning, 2 cheese sandwiches at work, and he'll get home, and that's when he goes ham. I've always noticed it. He'll come in. He'll have. Him and my mum will have a big meal, curry, naan bread and different things, or chicken fajitas, you know, something. And I'm like, some of those things are amazing, some of those things aren't amazing. You know, if you have high calorie, if you make your own curry, it can be really low calorie. If you go and buy pre-made curries, it can be really, really high calories. You know, and then after that, he just nibbles and snacks all night long. And this is because he does not give his body enough food through the day. So at night time, but because he's so mentally busy, he doesn't think about eating. He doesn't necessarily want to eat. So he's working all day, mentally and physically stimulating his body. And then he gets home and he's just like, and his body goes, right, I am bloody hungry now. And then he just eats and eats and eats and eats and eats. And he doesn't eat high fibrous foods. He eats things that are going to spike his insulin to make him want more unhealthy food, more sugar. You know, take my mum on the flip side, and she has these. I'm not saying they're not massive, but for what they are, they're really filling. So in the morning she has nuts, seeds, yogurt, oats, and a little bit of golden syrup. And I was like, all you need to do there is buy 0-calorie golden syrup. I know it's full of chemicals, but you're having such a healthy meal just by having a little bit of unhealthy syrup. It would bring the calories down. And it's really filling. You've got fiber from the oats, you've got healthy nutrition from the yogurt, and you've got all of the healthiness from the nuts and the seeds as well, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, then she'll go out and then she'll have lunch, avocado on toast. Again, fantastic. Good healthy fats, good fiber, absolutely fantastic. And then at dinner, she'd generally just eat whatever my dad eats. And so, you know, I'm like, that's absolutely amazing. You know, provided, you know, all you have to really do is go for a walk every day. Like I say, 10,000 steps every single day. You know, take Charlie for a walk, get your 10,000 steps in, and then go for a cycle ride once or twice a week. And I was like, you will notice your weight literally fall off a cliff. And especially the bigger you are, the faster you lose the weight as well. Especially if you're not training and you don't necessarily worry about keeping your muscle mass. The weight can fall off stupidly quickly. Like I said to her, I was like, you could lose a stone in a month if you wanted to. I'm not saying that's necessarily the healthiest, but it depends on your body. Provided you have good energy levels, you have good mental ability to focus, you can do everything you need to do at work, and you can necessarily get your workout in, your energy levels are up, but your food is down, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Like, provided your energy levels are there, you're mentally prepared to attack the day, then eat as little as you physically can. That's the goal. You know, my mum does like all those really healthy foods. She likes having great big salads. She likes having nice, healthy, nutritional smoothies. You know, something she's almost forced upon my dad, these smoothies, and he actually turned around and started liking them. They're a lot of effort. They're quite expensive because they always made them from scratch. They bought a Ninja blender. My recommendation, buy a Ninja blender, start making things from scratch. It'll get you in the kitchen more, and the more time you spend preparing food is the less time you're sat thinking, eating and thinking about food. If all you have is quick, easy, ready meals and stuff that you have to quickly whack in the microwave, that's not necessarily the best thing. I mean, store-bought ready meals as well. The other thing I suggested to them was meal prep like me and make microwave meals. Like, if you can't be bothered to cook, then when you come and cook a meal at night time, like a curry, make the curry from scratch. Find out how you make it from scratch, get everybody involved, and then make quadruple the amount that you'd normally make. Serve yourself up a portion, put the other portions in a pot, put it in the freezer. When you want the curry next time, you don't even have to cook it. Out the freezer, in the microwave. It's healthy, it's nutritious. Yes, the nutrients are going to be a lot less because it's been frozen, but it's still more nutritious than going and buying a really high-calorie microwave meal. Because they don't think about nutrition when they make microwave meals necessarily. And they definitely don't worry about it, you know. So, you know, make smart decisions in life, guys. Make smart decisions. I'm not saying don't enjoy life, don't eat Krispy Kreme donuts, and don't go out and have burgers and stuff. You know, we're here to enjoy life, but just make smart decisions. You know, if you're going to go out and have a burger, maybe have a side salad instead of chips. It all depends on your personal circumstance, where you are in your journey, what kind of mental state you're in, what kind of physical state you're in, and how quickly you want to make these changes. You know, I am completely aware that I am a very highly motivated, very stupidly, I'm stupidly motivated, and I've got so much willpower because I've got such a vision and such a goal in life that I need. If I don't have all of that, if I'm not keeping my brain on point 24/7, something's going to suffer. My work is going to suffer. Something is going to go peak tong at some point. My training won't be on point, and we need to make. We're not here for that long. At the end of the day, a bus or a truck could take you out next week. So, you need to enjoy that. But that's the other thing. The healthier you are, the better you are to fight off anything that comes around your way. Obviously, apart from a bus or a car, I understand if you're going to get hit by a bus or a car, no matter how big or skinny you are, you're probably going to die. But generally speaking, if you're a lot healthier, then you're going to be able to fight off diseases and infections. And I know that coronavirus really threw a curveball at that because some of the healthiest athletes in the world died from it. But like the government have said, underlying health issues. Some of these athletes didn't know that they had underlying health issues. I'm not saying all of them did. I'm simply saying that you don't necessarily know what's going on in your body. Actually, unless you go to a doctor, you have no idea what's going on internally for you. Absolutely no idea. So you need to be able to give your body what it needs to fight off everything. You need to keep your immune system in the best condition it can be. You need to really give your central nervous system everything it needs in order to adapt and change, and your cardiovascular system as well. Super important. It's not necessarily all about nutrition. You can eat it healthy, like my mum, for prime example. She is possibly the healthiest person I know who eats on this planet, but because she doesn't get the 10,000 steps in a day. She doesn't do any cardio. When we go out for a walk, she asks me to slow down, and she can't keep up. She gets out of breath when she climbs hills because her cardiovascular system is not being challenged. You know that, and that's another thing. They pair so well together, nutrition and cardiovascular work, to keep your body regulated, to keep it in check. With my whole vaping thing, for example, like I've come out here, I've stopped smoking, but I still need something. I still have that nicotine addiction, which I'm still trying to kick. It isn't easy. You know, I have been getting short of breath as well. I know that is partly due to the vapes, it's partly due to my cardiovascular system, it's also partly due to the climate. I'm not used to this humidity. You know, the other day, when I was walking around, I had to sit down on the side of the street just to catch my breath. This was 12,000 steps in. I hadn't stopped all day, up, trained, eaten twice, straight out for a walk. I hadn't stopped. It was really, really humid. It was really, really hot. And I had to just sit down for 20 minutes. And I was just like, I was heavily breathing. I felt like I was going to pass out. It was insane. And so that's something that I am really trying to work on, is my cardiovascular system. I used to be a lot fitter than I am now. Mainly, I blame that on my knees because I've not been able to cycle as much. I am not allowed to run for long distances of time. A quick run here and there is different to going out for an actual run. So, you know, these things I've been really trying to... You know, I've really struggled with cardiovascular system as well. It's not, unless you find something you enjoy, like for me it's cycling, I don't like doing it. But you don't necessarily have to do a specific cardio session like that. If you do not get your 10,000 steps in a day, simply getting 70,000 steps a week in will challenge your cardiovascular system enough to make an adaptation and a change. When you find it easy to walk 10,000 steps a day, then you need to challenge it further, and you need to go and hit cardio, or you need to bump your steps up massively. 10,000 steps a day is around 5 miles. If you walk 10,000 steps a day, then you know that is quite far, and realistically you probably won't want to do much more walking after that. So you need to find something else that's going to challenge your cardiovascular system in a different way. And as well, a different way. You know, if you're always doing the same thing, then your body's going to become used to it, and it's not going to make adaptations, and it's not going to change. It's not going to grow. So you need to challenge it. And also as well, when you talk about challenging, you need to make as little change as possible with the most adaptations possible. For example, for the past month, for my weight training, I've been doing 2 exercises per muscle group. So for chest, I've been doing dips of some description, straight bar dips or other dips, and then my planche push-ups, because I'm specifically working towards my goal of being able to do muscle ups and planches and different things. So I have to train in a very specific way. Now, last training session, I did all of that, and I have not felt any DOMs. Now that's because my body has become used to those specific types of training. So I need to add in another stimulus. So I need to add in another movement for my chest in order to stimulate it further, for it to grow and change. But I've waited until the session where I didn't feel anything. I felt amazing. I pushed myself hard through the session. I was able to do more reps than I'd done in any other session. I felt amazing. Day after, I was like, I've not worked it. But I just hadn't worked it quite enough because my body had made those changes. So now I have to go on and add another exercise for my chest. You know, and it's the same everywhere else. It's the exact same everywhere else. You know, if you're, like I say, if you're walking 10,000 steps a day, your body's going to get used to it. So then you need to go and add in a run or a cycle, or go to the gym and go on the stair stepper or something. That's another fantastic thing as well, actually. Rather than, if you walk 10,000 steps on flat ground every day, start walking 10,000 steps up hills. That's another really easy way to challenge your cardiovascular system, because it will be very, very different. Walking up and downhill is very different to walking on the flat. If you don't have hills, or you don't have enough hilly range, go to the gym, go on the stair stepper, do 10,000 steps on the stair stepper, and you will be gassing by the end of it. Let me tell you, even if you're walking slowly, because steps are hard. You know, you're walking up steps all the time. I think that's the most challenging walk you can do, is walking upstairs. And again, if there's no stair stepper at your gym, go on the treadmill, put it at the steepest incline, 5 miles on that. It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder. So did you see how easy it is to make little adaptations but still have your body challenged, grow and change? It really, really is that simple. Okay, other than that, I don't think I've got anything more to say. So I hope you have a fantastic day. Please give it a like, share, a comment and a follow. If you've not already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you need any personalized coaching tips, you know where to go. First link in the description. Come and join the team.